Well, one thing that we're excited for in sports is the young lady, Caitlin Clark, and what she's doing with the WNBA. Her game just concluded with the Fever, who are plus 410 against the New York Liberty. And for those who follow WNBA, Liberty team, really good. I mean, Breanna Stewart, Sabrina Ionesco. She is the first ever rookie in WNBA history to record a triple-double, 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 13 assists. The odds for her to have a triple-double today was plus 1,700. So if you bet on that today, you're a happy man. But Caitlin Clark right now, you look at Rookie of the Year odds, her odds went from minus 450 to minus 750, heavy favorite, followed by Angel Reese at plus 420. And I don't know how many games are left in WNBA season, Ben, but I think they should just give her the award right now, being Caitlin Clark.
You know, it's so funny, the Rookie of the Year conversation with Caitlin Clark. The Angel Reese narrative is starting to blow up a little bit, but you saw, I think it was Kennedy Carter from the Chicago Sky, who I had no idea, I don't mean this in a bad way, but I had no idea existed before she hip-checked Caitlin Clark a couple weeks ago. And you kind of see the narrative of the growing, like, Angel Reese should be the Rookie of the Year. Like, come on, guys. Caitlin Clark has had a quote-unquote disappointing rookie year, right? Because we all just expected her to drop 40 points every night like she was doing in college. And then we all remembered, oh, yeah, she's a 21-year-old girl who's still excelling right now at what she does, but she's going up against grown bleep women who have been playing this game for a long time. She has been fantastic this year and must-watch television. Caitlin Clark, outside of maybe a Cameron Brink and very minimally Angel Reese, she has been the only thing that has got me to a television set to watch any WNBA game. I'm not going to pander to anyone. I wasn't into the WNBA before Caitlin Clark walked in. Now, I'm still, I catch myself sometimes watching her box scores. I pride myself on being an all Arizona sports fan. I don't bandwagon. When she was playing the Mercury last week, this little fanboy right here was kind of rooting for Caitlin Clark to beat the Mercury because of the narrative. Diana Taurasi, Caitlin Clark, you know, it's going to be a rude awakening, and then she comes in and beats Diana Taurasi on her own floor. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the legacy to continue for her, and she's starting to figure it out. You mentioned it with the triple-double today. That's the first time a rookie has ever done that in the WNBA. She is literally doing things no rookie has ever done before. It's fantastic stuff. And yeah, Rookie of the Year for sure.
Yeah, she played 38 minutes, 7 of 17, 3 of 12 from 3, which, I mean, a little struggling there from 3 and 12, but they managed 19 points and doing the extra work, 12 rebounds, which all 12 of her rebounds were on the defensive end, 13 assists, 2 steals. That is one Caitlin Clark. Yeah, like I mentioned, if you're a fan of sports, you've got to appreciate some of those athletes that have revolutionized and changed the sports with what she's done with the WNBA, being on CBS, being on ESPN. Like, when are you ever going to see, or when do you remember in past years where you saw WNBA being on a screen and being watched and the volume being up at a sports bar? I don't remember that seeing it. Or you talk about the private, the charter flights that now the WNBA gets to experience. But one thing that's cool about WNBA is you're going to start to see more of these kind of revolutionary athletes start to come with the Juju Watkins and you know, Angel Reese, and being able to follow Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark throughout their careers. So I think it's fascinating for all sports, and it's cool to see as a sports fan right now where there's not a lot going on. You're starting to see people talk about, you know, women's sports and Caitlin Clark, and I think it's pretty cool. And hopefully the narrative and all the outside negative energy and stuff like that. And that's one thing too about Caitlin Clark. She's doing this with all the slander that she has to deal with every single day. And for people out there that say, oh, she probably doesn't know. She probably doesn't listen to the noise. You turn on the television or you look at your phone, the first thing that pops up is Caitlin Clark.
Yes. No, Caitlin Clark, I was going to say something else just a second ago, but I'll put a pin in that for just a second. Caitlin Clark, I kind of wish had a little bit more of an edge to her. She is way too mild-mannered and polite and like courteous to everyone. All things that you would love in any person that you see just walking across the street. You'd love for them to be polite, be kind, be courteous. She is all these things. People are throwing hate at her. They saying, you know, whatever, she hasn't earned anything yet, which is just ridiculous, or what, she shouldn't be on the Team USA team. And all she does is keep killing everyone with kindness. I just wish after she beat Diana Taurasi in the Phoenix Mercury a couple weeks ago, she would have said, Oh, I thought it was going to be tough for me. Oh, I guess not. I guess this is just exactly like it was in college. Like, I wish she would do that because it would make me love her more. But, part of her, she is very true to herself, the Midwestern, polite, courteous, kind to everyone. I'm just here to hoop. But she's been this star-studded person, and then even later on, I'm kind of hoping for the Fever to be even worse so that there's a chance for Paige Beckers of UConn to get drafted on the Fever. And then it's Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark and just running the WNBA for 10 plus years. That is what gets me to a television set. And anyone that's like, hasn't won anything yet, well, you try to win something with a tomato slicer and a lawn deck chair as your teammates at Iowa as she drags them to the NCAA championship. So it's a good time, man. I'm stoked for her, and I love getting in on the ground floor. It's very similar to like getting in on the ground floor of like Michael Jordan or LeBron James. It's like I was there first, so I love it, man.
I think eventually too, you can see Caitlin Clark starting to get in towards like you said, the trash talking, because we saw that in Iowa after her first year when she blew up. The second and third year, you started to see kind of those little the signs of the little trash talk or what you said, the little edge on her. So maybe this is first year she kind of wants to be humble, prove herself, and that second year she can start to develop and kind of have that not villain but trash talk to her as well. But yeah, you're right. I think in the draft, but also it'd be kind of cool to see some of these free agents and see some of these players go and want to play for, maybe kind of turn it around like we saw. I'm trying to think NBA wise to compare a Caitlin Clark where she was a young prodigy and then other players wanted to play around her, I guess, in the NBA, maybe a Kobe, I guess, but I don't know if that's kind of unfair to put that on her. Maybe like an Anthony Edwards for the Minnesota Timberwolves, a number one pick that, was on a really bad team, but they started to kind of build their way 2 or 3 years down the line. And players wanted to kind of go over to the Minnesota Timberwolves and play for them. And they started to draft guys around him. Is there any comparisons that you could say to Caitlin Clark?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Caitlin Clark, let me just undersized, took a team further than they were supposed to go in the NCAA tournament, way further than they were supposed to go in the NCAA tournament. No one had ever thought of this team as a basketball powerhouse. Shoots a lot of threes. I'm starting to give it away now. She is Steph Curry. She is Steph Curry of the WNBA world. She has revolutionized the three-point shot, which it's a very physical game. It's dead in the middle of the key. Like, that's what WNBA was. She's not Anthony Edwards. She's nothing crazy. Because she doesn't have like this insane athleticism. She's just an elite shooter and also a very, very underrated passer. I could make a highlight clip of 10 minutes long, of an hour long, of Caitlin Clark dropping dimes like she has eyes in the back of her head, but her teammates go straight DeAndre Ayton and just fumble the ball or miss around the rim, and it drives me nuts. When you see the turnover numbers for Caitlin Clark, you're like, she averages a good amount of turnovers. Take away 3 of those a game minimum from her teammates selling open baskets. Like, she's literally Steph Curry of the WNBA. Undersized, Iowa, very similar to the Davidson, took a team further than they were supposed to go. Sweet 16 for Steph Curry, NCAA championship for Caitlin Clark, both revolutionizing the three-point ball. Smaller players, yes, she is Stephen Curry, and it's going to help revolutionize women's basketball.
No, that's a good point, because you also look at the Golden State Warriors. After they got Steph Curry in 2009, they started to build their team through the draft when they got Klay Thompson in 2011. They got Draymond Green in 2012. And they didn't win their first title in 2015 when they kind of got some guys like Harrison Barnes, Kayvon Looney, sprinkled some guys in free agency. And then that kind of turned around to a dynasty. So we're not saying that, the Fever are going to win in 6 years. It could be even sooner than that. But that's a team in the Fever that could build from the draft just based on how bad they are right now, kind of collect some picks, Paige Beckers and some other ones, and they could establish themselves as a top team and win a title or maybe be in a dynasty down the road. I think it's a good comparison, Caitlin Clark and Steph Curry there.